It's certainly great to welcome you back to Get Connected. Each and every week we have a segment called Health Beat, and today we're talking about MS with two people that suffer from it, but the awareness they're bringing to it is important for all of us to hear. Of course, I have Jack with us, who has an amazing story, but we have Miss Kentucky, and I so love your title. I know you as Ramsey as well, but tell me, what was it like winning?
It was pretty surreal. It's hard to believe that that's over a year ago and that I've had to pass that on already at this point. But at that moment, it was very surreal because I thought, I've worked so hard for this. It was a dream of mine, but now it's real. So very unbelievable for me at first.
I know in the Miss America pageant system, you all have a platform. I'm curious, Ramsey, what was yours?
My platform was multiple sclerosis awareness.
And that platform is certainly very personal to you as you were diagnosed. And what did it feel like when you heard those words?
I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis on August 25th of 2010 after experiencing symptoms since back in May of 2010. Being diagnosed for me at first was a moment of trying to learn, because when I heard those words, you have multiple sclerosis, the first question that came to my mind was, okay, well, how long does it take to get rid of it? And then as the doctor says, it's an autoimmune disease, it's currently incurable, it's degenerative, then it was, well, then why me? Why this? When is it going to get worse? How hard is this going to be? But eventually I was able to turn that into what can I do, which led not only to using it as my platform as Miss Kentucky and reaching that bigger audience, but also being connected with Jack to be able to talk about it with his new campaign.
Well, Jack, she set you up perfectly. I think you guys should co-host the show together, but tell us about the campaign.
So the campaign's called You Don't Know Jack About MS, and you can go to youdon'tknowjackaboutms.com to get the full download on it. But I partnered up with Teva Neuroscience a number of years ago, and we decided that we were going to, do essentially it's an awareness campaign at its core, and we wanted to educate people through kind of entertainment, lighthearted ways. It's a pretty, can be a pretty serious, heavy subject, trying to tell people about MS. But I always find that it's, people tend to retain information a lot easier when they're not feeling like doom and gloom. So that's kind of the approach we took. We started doing these webisodes, kind of following me in my day-to-day life and how I was living with MS. And as the years have gone on, we've broadened our our scope, and we're now focusing on other people. And it's how Ramsey and I came to work together. And as it's picking up speed, and the whole goal for it is to become a destination website for people either newly diagnosed with MS or who might know someone who's been diagnosed with MS.
Yeah.
Well, it certainly is a great program. And Jack, how did you personally get involved with it?
Well, when I got diagnosed with MS in May of 2012, and at the time, there really wasn't many young people, with the disease who was kind of out there talking about it. And I felt kind of oddly obligated to, use my platform in entertainment to kind of start raising awareness about this disease. I mean, millions of people throughout the world are living with MS, and in America alone, 200 people a week are diagnosed with it. So this isn't a rare, obscure disease. It affects so many people, and also affects a lot of people's family members. So it's something that I think there's a lot of power in knowledge, and the more people that know about it, and more people that are aware of the symptoms, they have a better chance of getting to it early and getting on a treatment as early as possible.
As we wrap up, most of us know someone with MS, and given that you both have been diagnosed, how can loved ones be most supportive?
Well, a big thing, people who are diagnosed, the people around them, that's their support system. So something that they all need to keep in mind, whether they're the one diagnosed or the family of, is to try to be as positive as possible. They're not the only one with MS. It's not some sort of death sentence. It's just something that you have to learn how to manage, and you can do that in a very positive way.
Yeah, no, I'm very lucky to have had my wife is a total, she's my number one cheerleader, and she's the one to kind of tell me to get off my pity potty, and I need that, but I do get affected when I see my other family members get really down in the dumps about my disease, and it's, I always tell them, listen, it's not the end of the world, I'm okay. So I think it's important for family members and people in people diagnosed with MS support group. It's really important for them to be as positive as possible.
And they can also probably do that by checking out the new webisode, and that's Spotlight on New MS Diagnosis, because we both talk about that and how it feels to be newly diagnosed quite a bit.
Yeah.
Well, those are certainly awesome suggestions from both of you. It's been a treasure talking to you, Miss Kentucky. Congratulations again, Jack, for your inspiration for starting this initiative, and both of you for bringing awareness to MS. We wish you many blessings. Thanks for joining us.
Hey,
Thank you.
Thank you, Conn.